For a lot of European companies, the American market feels like this huge final frontier. It's a massive opportunity for sure, but it's also filled with so many unknowns. So today, we're going to dive into a playbook that's specifically designed for European business leaders who are looking to not just enter the US, but to really master it. So let's start with the big one, right? The question that kind of hangs over any conversation about America these days. We see it in headlines all the time, but is the American dream actually dead? The short answer? No, it's not dead at all. It's just changed. It's evolved. That classic story, the one about an individual showing up with nothing and building an empire from scratch, well, that story has a new chapter. And what it's evolved into is this. The dream has shifted from a single person's journey to a massive opportunity for companies. The new American dream is for an established, ambitious European business to tap into a whole new world of growth and, in the process, multiply the value of their parent company back home. And this isn't just some abstract idea. This opportunity isn't a vague, far-off possibility. No, it's a real, present-day thing, and the American economy is actively waiting for businesses like yours. Okay, so why now? Why make the leap? Well, it really comes down to a tale of two very, very different economic climates. On one side of the Atlantic, you've got a market that's, well, it's facing some challenges. And on the other, you have a market that is literally built for expansion. And I mean, the contrast is pretty stark, right? In Europe, you're often dealing with stagnation, some really complex bureaucracy, high energy costs, things that can slow you down. But then you look at the US, and it's just a different world. It's got this continuous growth model, a powerful can-do spirit, and a system that is fundamentally consumer-based and capital-centric. It's basically engineered for business to thrive. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but can my product actually compete over there? And the answer is 1,000% yes. American consumers, whether they're regular people or other businesses, have this deep respect for European quality. Seriously, that made in Germany, made in France, or made in Switzerland label, that is a powerful seal of approval. It's your secret weapon. And listen, if you're worried about being the first to try this, you're not even close. Get this, $3 trillion. That's how much foreign direct investment from European businesses is already in the United States. So the point is, you would be in very, very good and very successful company. Okay, so if the opportunity is so huge and the path is clearly well-traveled, why are so many companies still hesitant? Well, it really comes down to one simple, powerful thing: fear. Fear of the unknown. And let's be honest, a specific fear of that infamous American legal system. They even have a name for it: litigophobia. It's this deep, often irrational fear of lawsuits, and it's the number one roadblock for European companies. We've all heard the stories, right? Like the McDonald's hot coffee case. It creates this perception that the US is a legal minefield where you could lose everything over something that seems totally ridiculous. And these hesitations really boil down to three big worries: the fear of getting sued, the fear of high operational costs, and the fear of a legal system that just feels totally alien compared to what you're used to. And look, these are valid concerns, but, and this is a big but, they are absolutely manageable. So how do you manage them? Not by being scared, but by having a strategy, a playbook. We're talking about a de-risked approach that's designed to turn those big, scary anxieties into structured, solvable problems. This is where we get tactical. And the core message of this whole playbook is right here. You do not have to bet the farm. You don't have to put your entire European company on the line. The key to taking the risk out of this isn't avoiding the market, it's entering it with the correct, protective corporate structure from day one. This whole structure is built on what we can call the 3 pillars of limiting liability. I want you to think of these as the foundation of your American operation. If you get these 3 things right, you basically build a fortress around your assets. And in order of importance, they are entities, contracts, and insurance. All right, let's talk about that first pillar, because it is by far the most critical. By setting up a completely separate US legal entity, like an LLC or a C Corp, you create a firewall. It's that simple. This one proactive step separates your American risks from your European assets. It means that if worst-case scenario, something goes wrong in the US, the liability, the problem, it stays in the US. Now, building these pillars, this fortress, it is not a solo mission. And this quote from Steve Jobs just nails the next step perfectly. Success isn't just about what you build, It's about who you build it with. You need a specialized team on the ground. And this is that team. This is your core four. This is your essential market entry squad. You need a US lawyer to set up your entity and draft your contracts the right way. You need a CPA for the tax structure. You need a banker who actually understands foreign-owned businesses. And finally, an insurance broker to complete that third pillar, your ultimate protective shield. So we've looked at the massive opportunity, we've tackled the fears head on, and we've walked through the playbook. When you lay it all out, it really comes down to a fundamental choice about the future direction of your company. And this is the choice right here. It's the status quo, staying in a market that might be shrinking, or proactively engineering a brand new path to growth in the world's largest, most dynamic economy. And that really leaves us with this final thought. With the right strategy and the right team, entering the US market isn't just possible, it's totally achievable. So the real question isn't can you do it? It's a question of ambition. How do you want to drive your business forward?